So to sum up, parts one and two of this Panda introductory rant. When you think about America and its history, and then you think about the present day, like the Orlando Brown video I shared, right? He has to be no more than 10 years old, if not less than that, right? So he's like in 1990s. I'm 93. He should be 90s or at least 80s, maybe. I don't know. And you got to be somewhere in between, right? So he knows the term. It seems to have happened to him. Wouldn't it logically make sense to assume, or to come to the conclusion, not even assume, you can literally see it in history, they were already doing it since the 15th century, before the Constitution was written. That's what the system or government was built on, with that in mind. So isn't it safe to assume that they're still doing it under the illusion of freedom? Right? That brings me though to this MK Ultra nonsense that I'm going through. This MK Ultra gang stalking, organized mobbing, whatever you want to call it, right? And what I'm currently going through with this whole mental health diagnosis thing that they want me to get so bad so that they can discredit me for the MK Ultra gang stalking harassment thing, right? But Panda would cause trauma-based mind control, fear-based mind control, all of these things, right? That's the whole point of it, is to control, right? Using the rectal sphincter or whatever, that nerve in there. Why would you assume that it's not still happening? Did racism just die off? You have history of MK Ultra, you have history of slavery. Just smash them together. But it's not just a race thing. Do I blame white people? A little bit. But I've seen discussed that black people, Asian people, and all other races can cause, Indian, whatever. You know, all of them participate in this MK Ultra nonsense. It's modern day slavery. Just like Kanye said, new slaves, right? Celebrities tell you all the time, we dismiss it, or maybe you don't dismiss it, maybe you just keep it quiet, right? Shh, like the secret societies, the Freemasons, shh, keep it quiet, you don't want to get painted, right? I already told you, somebody dies in the process. So, however that can take forward. But bring back to the diagnosis, bringing it back to that. Paranoia is the irrational reasoning of someone, or the irrational belief of systemic persecution. So it's already happened in our history, right? Panda and everything, MK Ultra, all of these things have already happened. At what point does it become irrational when you've had a whole race do this for 400 years? Am I supposed to believe that they just stopped? They stopped teaching their children their history of what they were doing? All of these things. I'm supposed to believe that. Because autism is not changing your thinking, right? That's one of the symptoms of autism, being unable to change your thinking. It's the most vague thing ever, right? I was an atheist before. I believe in Jesus Christ now. I've changed my thinking, so I can't have autism, right? Oh, you got to change your thinking when we want you to, right? Since they can't control you, they've come up with all of these mental health diagnoses, right? So it back to the beginning. It makes me question how many people have this trauma-based mind control and K Ultra nonsense done to them, and then how many of them become gang stalkers because of it. Like I said, dude in my room, he likes to talk about these things. I don't know how he knows of it. Hopefully, he hasn't experienced it. I want to say he's a strong black man, but I also noticed all of the passive aggressive and the subliminal messaging that he does when he's talking to himself, right? Same thing with Jeff in my room, or the other dude who looks like he's trying to be on a warlog, which he does that shit all the time. It's crazy. And then the way he talks is crazy. But who knows what they're going through? Maybe they've been pandered, right? Maybe the system got to them. The government, the Freemasons, whatever you want to call it, right? But that's what I want to talk about in this series of videos. How it affects mental health, how America is technically built on the fear of being pandered, I guess. Because if you say it's built by black people, the slaves, and that's what you was doing to them. That's literally the history, which would honestly make sense of why black people are participating in this. Because it's not just white people, it's black people. Maybe they caused it, but they've gotten black people to be in cahoots, Chinese people to be in cahoots, Asian people. What I believe is that, because everything's like made in China, right? So they going around pandaing people, and then they're getting the psychological tactics of warfare from China. You know, they're more advanced than us, right? So That's what I'm beginning to believe, and then everybody else falls into play because we seem to be in debt to China, right? So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It's not irrational, but again, in order to remove speculation, that's what the other videos are going to come for. And like I said, in these videos, I'm really just talking to myself. I just got to feel like weirdos listening in when they shouldn't be, or I'm talking to myself, but it's also for the people who might be going through the same thing that I'm going through. They want more information, and they just so happen to come across the video, right? But yeah, America is built on pandas, I guess. Maybe that's why they call them pandemics. That's crazy because technically you're bringing the disease from Europe and then you're putting it in the wow. Oh, see, now you got me started. It got me started. Hold on. I will come back in some other videos.